Subscribe and turn on the bell. Today we're visiting inspiring homes in Sweden, Portugal, Indonesia, and Vietnam. Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Prefab Houses. Subscribe and turn on the bell to get the latest updates about new videos. As always, glad to have supporters. Meet Hachi Lily House by Sila Architects in Vietnam. Tucked into a Pomelo village that is wrapped by a beautiful winding river before it flows to the center of Hue, a tourist city in the middle of Vietnam, this small timber house named Hachi Lily is built as a bungalow to meet the owner's dream of creating a retreat where the family, who's come back from a big and noisy city, can enjoy the privacy and fresh atmosphere inside a garden full of pomelo flowers. It's also a base for the family to look after a homestay project that will also be built in the pomelo garden as their own business. This 115 square meter house is designed with a composition of a common area, 2 bedrooms, 2 restrooms, and their surrounding spaces. The common area, including living, dining area, and kitchenette, connects with a veranda that goes along the main facade, facing a water lily pond in front of the house. There's a small wooden bridge across the pond as the main access. The 2 bedrooms and restrooms offer privacy and calming atmospheres by a natural stone wall that wraps around, creating the inner gardens for each space. The outdoor showers are the interesting feature in each inner garden. A timber mezzanine shining by a rooftop skylight is the family's library and storage. It's interesting to read a book nearby a small window and enjoy the pomelo garden underneath. All the spaces of the house are covered by a large sloping roof that ensures shadowing and helps in adapting the tropical climate to the site where it's always full of harsh sunlight in the summer and prolonged heavy rains in winter. Most of the furniture, main frame, and walls of the house are made of reclaimed lumbers collected from the structure of old demolished buildings. Different types of stone, wood, concrete, glass, terracotta, textile, water, greenery create a good color palette. The children and their grandmother can have a good sleep in this cozy and calming atmosphere. Next, we move to sunny Portugal to look at Mima Essential by Mima Architects. Located in the Algarve, south of Portugal, this house was built as a refuge from the bustle of the busy city. With its facades almost fully glazed, the interior of the house allows endless vistas of pine trees that are all around the site, whereas the facade edges with wooden slats, ensuring privacy for the bathrooms, reinforce the wooden character of the house and enhance its integration in the natural landscape. With an elegant regular shape that extends along a single floor, this 160 square meter house respects the usual 160 meter grid, common to all Mima houses. Proving once again that the base system used by Mima Housing allows for the conception of houses that differ substantially from one another in terms of character, despite the constant regularity of the plans and the simplicity of the house shapes. This house is particularly interesting for the symmetry of its plan. Elevated from the ground in 1.2 meters, revealing its wooden foundations and structure, the core of the house grasps the ground through wide wooden stairs. The kitchen and living area are located at the center of the house, with a 1.6 meter grid underlined in the wooden ceiling, and on the suite bedrooms are on the opposite edges, 2 on each side as symmetrical schemes. The structural framing for the house was built out of Nordic pine and was constructed using interlocking joinery. The wooden frames are in Kumbala wood. The extensive louvers in the edges are made from thermo-treated pine wood. Exteriors are detailed with zinc flashing. Interior surfaces are finished with pine and oak wood, and the walls are in gypsum with a refined white plaster. Its space is available for permanent or temporary housing, business offices, commercial purposes, and a lot more. always refined with the best design. Let's visit Lake House in Sweden by Dive Architect. There's a strong summer house tradition in Sweden celebrating the great outdoors and enjoying the precious sun-filled days in the countryside. Located in a forest area of silver birch and pine trees on an isolated 2,000 square meter plot, Dive Architects have designed a home that will increasingly merge with the surrounding nature over the years. It's situated on a steep sloping site along a ridge divided into two rectangular volumes with lean-to roofs sloping in opposite directions, one for living, the other for sleeping. The roof shape's orientation is articulated with vertical and horizontal cladding. At the meeting point of the two volumes, the house is slightly angled, forming the main entrance and a sheltered outdoor seating area. This also makes the most of the different views depending on whether you look up to the forest or down to the lake. The house was specifically situated along a north to south axis so that the homeowners can have the morning sun at breakfast and, as the day goes on, enjoy the sunset from the master bedroom. The construction uses timber framing built on a concrete floor slab and is clad in pine treated with a traditional timber preservative. A mix of sliding doors and fixed glass was used throughout the house. Every bedroom has access to the outside, allowing access from the bedrooms to the outdoors. The living room, dining area, and kitchen are fused together around a rendered brick fireplace and kitchen island, which forms the focal point. The outdoor deck is partly covered, extending the kitchen for outdoor living. The whole setting offers an uncomplicated and relaxing home. Moving to Bali, Indonesia, where Stilt Studios first finalized Tetrapod Studio. A prefabricated tiny house using recycled Tetra Pak cartons as wall and roof material, bringing together unique design while playing a part in the local circular economy. The Tetrapod is a 64 square meter home with all living amenities elevated 40 centimeters off the ground, built from wood, steel, glass, and recycled materials. The architecture seeks to blend into its surroundings by making use of the recycled materials' reflective characteristics, while strategically placed openings carefully frame view corridors. The diagonally oriented floor plan creates exciting spaces that exude outward into the exterior. The balanced compromise of open facades and the use of space make this small home elegant and spacious. The contemporary design of the sloping roof channels rainwater through the desired structural system, which is then stored for further use, like watering the surrounding garden. Through openings that are closely put under the canopy, the building seeks to empower passive cooling. In only 64 square meters, you'll find a comfortable bedroom, en-suite bathroom, open kitchen, and living room, as well as some outdoor terraces. 9-point foundations lift the Tetrapod 40 centimeters above the ground, offering a perfect sitting height on the porch. The large facade panels can be opened to provide a cross ventilation, making the space completely open. Layers of curtains make the house more private. It also introduces a customized furniture system for a cozy dining and living space. Tetrapod is part of a new and innovative way for housing, treading lightly on the earth. Thanks for stopping by. Subscribe and turn on the bell to hear about our latest videos if you haven't done so yet. Stay tuned.